Go ahead, fire away.
How difficult was it to watch the special teams?
How difficult?
To watch the tape?
There was a lot of good things. I mean, I was really proud of the way Richard hit that return. There was a lot of positives. I mean, obviously the penalties hurt us and, upsetting. But, there was a lot of good things, though, too, at the same time. Matt Ariza had a really good game punting. I thought, Bucker made all his field goals. Obviously, he had the one kick out of bounds that, that was a mistake. He made a mistake. I mean, that's where we are.
Dave, did you see any sort of common denominators in the penalties or things that stuck out to you?
Well,
like, this is what's happening.
All right, I'll tell you this. Jack Cochran's one of our best players. He's a world champion, and he is matched up against the best player every week. He's one of our best guys. So he was blocking their best guy, and it's a tough job. Sometimes you're going to get that call. After the first one, maybe they were watching him a little bit more in the second one. I don't know, but it happened. I mean, I've seen those calls not called too at the same time. So it's the way it is. Last year we beat people, and they complained about the officials. We're not complaining about the officials. That's just the way it is. We just have to bounce back, and we'll be fine.
And with that, what can you tell the guys like Jack, for instance? What do you tell them? You're not sure how to
I want them to keep playing hard, and I want them to finish blocks. That's important. But at the point of attack, to take somebody to the ground, I think that's where you got to just let your hands up and let them go. Don't take them all the way to the ground. That's what they're gonna call at the point of attack, right around where the ball is hitting. So we could do a better job on that. That's how we coach them up.
Is that kind of like a little internal clock when you're on those blocks at the
It's just
point of attack?
you know when you're at the point of attack. You know where you are, on the field, and you kind of feel it. And your guy, you're preventing him from getting there. That's when you got to be aware and alert.
On Bucker, Andy compared it to a golfer yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you assessing that as? You kind of see.
I said the same thing the other day. His field goals are better. He was 100% last week. He's 100% so far this week. We kick again today. I think he's on an uptrend with his field goals. That's the number one thing. The kickoffs, he tried to get it to the right. We had a special return on a kickoff coverage because we wanted to pin him down there. We wanted to get it down as far right as we could. He just went a little bit too far right, obviously. And, he had a mishit ball and a bad time. We lost probably about 10 yards there on that. Most of the time, the thing that's so disappointing is most of the time we're the ones that are setting our team up, and this is the time that it didn't happen. And that's what makes it so disappointing. But we're not going to let this game define us for sure. We're going to bounce back and come back stronger for sure this week.
Is there another type of kick? We talked last week about the different kind of kicks the Rams do. Is there another kind of kick that maybe, asking them to kind of walk a tightrope over there? I know you want to coffin corner them and pin them in there, but are there other kind of kicks that?
Yeah, the idea on that kick, Saran, is that we're trying to kick it to the right because we're getting our coverage down there. If we kick it in the middle, then they have a two-way go, and it's kind of a little bit harder to get them inside the 30. We were trying to get them inside the 30. It's almost impossible to get them inside the 20 now unless you skip the ball into the end zone, and then you're taking a chance if you're trying to skip it that it's short and they get the ball to the 40 anyway. So we're just trying to get it down there to the right to pin him down there, and that's what we were trying to do. And it just got off his foot a little bit too far to the right. And
penalties would have been 100 yards for Bouchard. I guess. Do you feel like you have something special?
Yeah, I think Bouchard keeps getting better and better each week, and it was really good to see. He hit that return. He was north and south in a hurry. And I'm not sure if I'm glad if he didn't score because it would have been even worse. But it was a great return nonetheless, and we're going to build on that. We're going to look at the positives.
You talk about the penalties. You're not going to complain about them. I understand that, but there's also kind of like I know the refs watch the tapes too, right? Like they come in, like Juwan Taylor. There's plenty of examples of guys being as far back, and even Juwan Taylor being that far back, not getting called every time, but he kind of has that reputation. Do you feel like you guys are maybe getting that reputation on your return?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We've been pretty good. We've only had 2 penalties. And coming into that game, we had 4 in that one game. We only had 2 penalties, really. We go back and look. I mean, it's not like, you know, we were getting killed this year on penalties. It's not what it was at all. So that game, it got us, and every one of them was costly, and we know it. And there's a lot of pride in that room. Like I said, we're gonna bounce back.
Last one, Todd.
Scouting report, maybe on what Detroit brings.
yeah, yeah, very good. I mean, I know I stand up here every week and say it, but I mean, it's a top 10 unit for sure. Coached well. Dave Phipp does a great job. Khalif Raymond, probably one of the best punt returners in the league. Former Pro Bowler. I mean, you know, he's coming off an injury. We'll see if he plays, but if he's in there, he's very dangerous. And he does a good job coaching. These guys play hard. I mean, really hard. And it starts with their head coach on down, obviously. They're a tough unit that we're going to have to really step it up this week.
Dan Campbell's got a bit of a reputation for doing some unorthodox things. I assume.
All right,
Ready for
let me give you a little stat. All right, since he's been there since 21, he's ran 12 punt fakes. That's 3 a year, and they haven't run one yet. So, I mean, you know, we know it's coming. We knew it was coming 2 years ago. You know, but they were backed up on the 17-yard line. You don't think it's coming then. I mean, that's the thing. He'll call it when you least expect it. You know, so now you got to expect it all the time. So, I mean, we'll be ready for it. That doesn't mean you're going to stop it. You know, you gotta be prepared for it, and they'll come with some kind of crazy thing, whatever. But we're ready.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
I don't know if that's good or bad. All right, so anyway, I'm not going to go back on too much. We're certainly disappointed in the way the last week worked out. From a defensive standpoint, we get in that position and we hope to end the game and win it. So very disappointed. But we've moved on. This next team we're getting ready to play, every bit as good as the one we played, maybe better. So all our focus is on that. And with that, I'll open it up.
On the last play, even aside from just Chris, once the play gets kind of blown up like that, I mean, does it?
It's a weird deal. Yeah, it's a weird deal. Listen, we always talk about never assume. Like I'm talking about on a 1st and 10 play. You know, a backside corner, don't assume he's down. You know, don't assume your buddy's going to get him tackled. And I think guys just got caught up in the moment and thought he was down, and it didn't work out that way. I think we'll all learn from it, and we've moved on, and hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Does it make it harder? Because Chris has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's your highest paid guy. Does that make it more difficult?
Well, I mean, listen, when somehow, some way we needed to get him down. I mean, there's a lot. I'm not going to pick at all the things that happened, but there were other things that went on that, you know, that play, you know, it would have given us another chance to defend another play. I mean, we're assuming that Chris would have been able to get there. We don't know that. But there was a lot of things on that play that could have gone a little bit better. I think all the guys would tell you that. And we need to find a way. We had, really, when you look at it, we got a little bit fortunate and lucky that he got stepped on. You know, I mean, it was a pass play that we needed to defend. We were expecting pass. That didn't materialize because he stumbled, and what happened. I tell you what I'm going to say is I give the quarterback a lot of credit. A lot of guys would have fallen down or stumbled or whatever. He didn't. He got in the end zone, so I give him credit for that.
I know that one wasn't a center run, but, you know, Trevor Lawrence kind of gassed you a little bit on that. Chris Jones said afterwards, gap, we got to be.
You're talking about the other plays he ran. Yeah, those were frustrating plays. He had at least 2 or 3. And we talk about rush lanes all the time. We can't give you can't give any of these, and especially not an athlete like that. you can't give them that kind of opening. I thought the coverage on the back end was really good. I think that's why Trevor pulled it down and ran. And when that happens, whoever we've committed to the pass rush have to make sure we don't let them get out and get that kind of yardage.
Felt like the snaps were going up and up and up. This was kind of flat. I guess is there any rhyme or reason?
Just from more of the standpoint of what packages we had in, because there's certain packages where he's in there, and for whatever reason we went with the other packages.
Coach, you like to identify what you call game wreckers
Yeah.
on the opponent side. When you look at this Detroit team,
Huh.
what were some of the unique challenges?
They all had red on them. We always put the red on the game records. Yeah, they're. You see it. He's got a lot of weapons, and the guy pulling the trigger out there is pretty good. He's really accurate. His tops in a lot of different things. I flashed him up the other day. This number one scoring offense in the NFL, or was at least a week ago, whatever. I don't know where they are now. I'm sure they're still up there. Our thing always, our number one goal going into these games is to limit points allowed, and it'll be the same focus with all the weapons that they have. We're going to have to pick and choose who we quote unquote try to take away, and then some guys are going to have to do some heavy lifting on their own.
Specifically to Montgomery and Gibbs on that
Yeah.
rushing attack, just what makes them so effective as a one-two.
Their skill just sticks out. They're similar in some ways, different in others. I think that 5 is a pretty powerful runner. I think they gear him plays toward that. 0 gets out on the edge quite a bit, and he's a threat as a pass receiver as well. And I'll tell you, they put them out there both at the same time, and that becomes a challenge. So, we got to tighten all kinds of things up. I keep going back. I wish we played better in the 2-minute. We'd be feeling a little bit differently about everything, because we played the run fairly well, except for the quarterback, but the quarterback's included. Hopefully that won't happen again this week.
Steve, with Kelvin Shepard and your time
Oh, I'm glad.
with them,
Yeah.
what does it mean to you to see him have this success?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. Kelvin, I think the world of Kelvin Shepard. When he played for us in New York those 2 years, he was our Nick Bolton. They're very, very similar. Those guys are kind of cut from the same cloth. I said to Kelvin at the time, I don't think he was thinking about coaching when he got done playing. I said, I think you'd make a heck of a football coach. And over the 2 or 3 years, I think he stayed out of it and, kind of coached him. He got the bug. I think he went down to LSU first. And there were times that we talked about Kelvin and trying to get him here. I think he's doing a terrific job, and I'm really happy for him, really proud of him. Yeah.
Some of the things that the Lions do well, under center, play action, are some of the things that the Chargers had some success with.
Yeah.
I guess, what's the challenge of that, and maybe what did you learn from?
Yeah, well, anytime a team can be on schedule from an offensive standpoint and be a threat to us, run or pass, it's going to be a challenge. If we really need to create a couple of negative plays. First and second down are going to be really important. And then, as always, win third down. But they do pose that particular problem. They're really good at play action. In other words, they sell it. They match things up. They're really good, I think, and they have been for a long time. I know the coordinator's different, but they're really good at matching the runs with the play action, matching the motions that you're going to get and shifts that particular game. They run it, and all of a sudden there's a pass play off of that, and that's what you're talking about. And we're aware of that. A lot of that's going to come, and I think our assistant coaches do a great job on defense in game, feeding to our guys. Okay, they ran this with that motion and shift. Expect this coming up. So hopefully we can be ahead of the game on those.
Do you expect to see Omar be able to play more snaps this week, and what does he give you if you're able to do that?
Yeah, well, he was last week. It was he got dinged, and that was an unfortunate. But he'll hopefully. I think he's okay. The practices. I think you guys were out there yesterday, so we didn't have helmets on, and so we'll find out where we're at when we can gear Omar up a little bit and see where he is at the end of the week. But I would anticipate and would have anticipated last week that his rep count would have gone up had he played.
We're going to go last 3, starting with 5.
Steve, just sort of turning this forward from last week, what's the coachable point on the ball that went off Trent, Drew, and Nick? Or sometimes quirky things happen.
That was pretty quirky. I would have expected. Listen, when it is bobbling like that, I've always said somebody has to go attack it. Don't try to finesse it. Not have to see it again. I remember when it happened. I thought we had it, and then it was on the ground. Drew and Nick could probably be able to tell you better what happened. But I think that someone's got to go up, and we always talk about the highest point when that thing's bobbling up and down. Now there was not an offensive player contesting it with the two of them, but when you're going after a football, I think you got to go attack it and grab it and pull it back in and go.
Todd? Todd?
That would be my.
When you're facing a team like this, who goes for fourth downs, does some unorthodox
Yeah.
things, how much preparation has to go in during the week to let the guys know, don't take your guard down just when you stop someone on
Yeah, third down can be really second down. It's funny. It feels like every week we talk about, this team's going to go for it on fourth down. I just think that's where the league's going to. I mean, 4th and 2 at our 40-yard line to offenses is let's go get it. We do it. Other teams do it. So this week is not any different. I mean, we know Dan's real aggressive, and we're going to be planning for it. He did it when we played him here 2 years ago, and we're practicing those plays that we think we might see.
Last one's here.
Coach, last week we were talking about Noel Williams and his ascension, and then he only had 4 snaps.
Yeah.
What was the circumstance?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that was not a reflection on any thought of how we thought Noel was doing at all. It was really just what we put out there package-wise. Like, if you guys notice, when Noel goes in, it's when Trent goes in at nickel. And, for various reasons, we went the other way with the pieces. And he didn't end up with as many snaps. That could change this week. I think he's doing a really good job for us. It doesn't seem like it's been too big for him. I was really encouraged by that when he played a bunch of snaps the games before. And depending on which way the game goes in terms of down and distance, we'll see how many plays he gets in this one.
Thank you.
Is that all of them? Okay, thanks. Yep.
Coach, I know the result wasn't what you guys wanted, but it looks like the offensive efficiency has really picked up. What are you seeing that's kind of working together with everyone?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's not. We always want to make sure that we go back to 2 weeks ago. You heard me mention about an identity, and I think we're getting closer to that. I still think we're working through some things, but part of getting Xavier back is a big part of it, which is great. But in the end, the only thing that matters is that win. And you just look back at, you go back to the middle of that game. We had 2 3-and-outs there at the end of the half and in the start of the third, which the last couple games we've been good at the start of the third quarter. This one we went 3-and-out, followed by an 11 or 12 play drive that ended with a pick 6. So that was a 14-point swing. So there's good within there that we're doing. We like that. We can build, but it's the situational stuff when you have a game like that you want to take advantage of. We didn't do that. I think the beauty of who we are is we stick together, we learn from it, and we got to correct it.
Asking Patrick about the Saturday looks and being in your position, have you seen any more of those throughout the course of the season? Because it looked like the pick 6 was something where he wasn't expecting, and just got gotten. You see a lot more of those?
Yeah, it's common when you have a quarterback like we have that teams are going to try to do as much as they can and break tendencies, which we're well aware of, and credit to them for having a guy that was in the right place at the right time and that sort of thing. So that's part of the game. I think all that said, we also want to just step back and for us and just say, okay, that happened. That's sudden change. That's our job as an offense to score. We gave up 7 points essentially. And then what I was proud for the offense of doing was at the end of the end of the game to have that drive to go in there down 3 and go up 4. Was good, but we can't put our defense or our team in that situation. When we start off fast, 14-0, we got to end it, and we got to keep our foot on the pedal.
Matt, speaking of tendencies there, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, Matt, speaking of tendencies in the red zone and down and distance, how often do you guys keep tabs on making sure you aren't going to the same thing over and over?
We live in that world. I mean, that's something that's very normal for a lot of teams, and we want to always be not just on what the defense does, but also what are we doing. So we got to make sure that we do that. And again, there's sometimes some plays that look wide open that weren't schemed the right way, or they are wide open and they weren't run the right way. So that's just how the game goes. But that was one play. Obviously, we want to have back, but there was a lot of good plays in there too that we want to grow from.
Player. I mean, we've seen in the past of this game. I guess what do you think led to that breakthrough?
Not sure, other than just we all had talks with him, just like be yourself, just go play, don't put pressure on yourself, go out there, cut it loose, have fun. He has an unbelievable personality that's infectious, and I think sometimes, when you get in moments where you're just not having the success that you want, you can start to press. That's human nature. So it's our job as coaches to just say, hey man, cut it loose, go have fun, and I think we felt that in that game.
5 weeks in, the State of the Union with Josh Simmons, what do you think from him?
I like where he's at. I think he's in a good place. If you as a young guy, rookie, you want to be able to have somebody that's growing, and he's doing that right now. Impressed with how he practices. And I go back to kind of our thoughts in training camp. We said there's going to be a couple plays here or there where it's a big play, but you don't want it to be a game-changing play. And he's done a really good job. And I think this last game here was, again, one of his better games that we want to continue to just have him keep improving with. And I like where he's at.
Couple more.
And Taylor, I guess how daunting of a matchup is Hutchinson and just making sure
Yeah.
he doesn't ruin the game?
They're tough. They are. I look at these guys on tape. You see them on TV, and the word that comes to mind is relentless. I mean, their motor goes nonstop, and I think they work off of each other, that defense in general. I mean, they get one sack, they're looking to get that second sack. If it's a pressure, relentless is the thing that keeps coming to mind for me, and so we want to make sure they're not relentless on Sunday night.
We're going to go last two, Nick
Um,
or sorry, Matt and Matt.
On that last drive, Patrick had to throw to Hollywood that looked like it had a lane that could have been a big play there that had been completed. Was that, Patrick just pulled the trigger a tad early, or was that Hollywood just not being ready for the
It's probably a little bit of both, Matt. It's one where that end of game situation stuff, we obviously practice all of that, and we have certain things for it, but I think probably the best way and easiest way to say is you got to certainly be on time with some of that stuff, and they were just off a little bit, and neither one of them was right or wrong. In that moment, we'd love to be able to have them both be on the same page so we can get down and call timeout.
Coach, you spoke about this a little bit, but what did that last scoring drive say about your team when you had to have it, you went down there and got it?
It spoke volumes to where we're at right now. We talked about it as a team, just making sure these guys understand when adversity hits, what type of team are we? And so you can take that to the offensive side and say, do we point the finger at the defense? Does the defense point the finger at us? None of that. And I think to Coach Reed and what he's built here, the culture of togetherness, the sideline the last couple games has been phenomenal. And so we wanted to do our part by giving up that pick six, of going down there and making sure that we put together a good drive. Right before that, the defense got a pick, and we went in and took advantage of that. So it's complimentary football, and I was proud of the guys for that. But we want more, and we know in the end none of that stuff matters other than just winning. And we don't care how ugly or pretty it is. We want to win.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Go for Chris.
Chris, obviously that last play has drawn some attention. Just what are your thoughts on that?
That's a teaching point for me, a little adversity. I can't think the play is over, you know what I mean? and it's a learning lesson. You know, thought it was over, thought we had him down, so I kind of stopped, was about to celebrate, and then realized that he wasn't down. And you know, a teaching lesson for me is don't stop. You know.
Have you talked to your teammates? Did you feel the need to mention that to them?
No, I think they understand that I thought the play was over with, and they understand I didn't quit. You know what I mean? It was just one of those instances where I thought he was down, then I thought we was about to get him down again, and oh my God, he's not down. So they understand. They understand that, you know, it won't happen again.
Was it tough to watch on tape with the teammates after seeing that?
Yeah, me personally, I kind of grade myself different than how everybody else grade me. So for me, it was tough because it's like, should I had the opportunity, you know what I mean? And I just thought he was down. And, you know, it's my job not to think. It's my job to finish. And, you know, I'll be better at it.
Chris, I think like after the game you deleted some of the social media stuff. I know a lot of you guys go look at your phone. Did you see stuff on the phone that you were like, I don't need this?
Well, I actually 2 days before the game, I posted a Drake quote on I'll see you in a summary of 2026, and I deleted my social media before the game. I never run from constructive criticism. I've never been that guy. I always addressed it head on. Actually, you know, it's a lot you can take from criticism. It's like fuel. It's like gas for me personally. So, for me to delete my social media, no, I didn't delete my social media because of a play that I thought he was down and then run to. I deleted my social media days before. It just, you know, yeah, people seen, I guess people wanted to address me head on social media, and they seen my social media wasn't active, so they figured that I deleted it for that, but it was deleted couple days before, you know. And I don't mind constructive criticism, you know. I don't mind it. You know, it's actually fuel for me. So for me to delete that, I've never been a guy. I've been in this league 10 years, never been a guy to run from it.
I guess with the extra attention with a team like the Lions coming in, I guess with everything, how motivated are you for Sunday night?
I've been focused on the line since the game. You know what I mean? You can't hold your head on one play or one game. It's a week in and week out thing. You know, you learn from it. You take notes. You take the good, take the bad. It's never really as good as you seem. It's never really as bad as it seems. You just take the good with the bad, and you keep pushing.
Chris, you talked about got to be better at gap responsibility-wise as a defense. Like, what was your role on that play? Where were if he was still up, what was your job on that play?
Well, I was the three technique. I think I tightened down, and the linebacker was coming through the A gap. So my job was to play the three technique like I was doing. But on that, I gotta finish. I can't think or assume that he's down. I gotta finish. I'll be better.
How surprised were you guys that the quarterback was able to kind of gash you guys on some key runs?
You know what? I give props to Trevor Lawrence. He played a heck of a game.
How would you assess the pass rush around you throughout the course of the season so far?
We're getting better.
Chris, I'm asking about the Detroit Lions offensive line. What are the challenges there with them?
They're battling a few injuries, but that group works really, really well together. I think they have one of the better right tackles in the game. Jerry Goff has a lot of playmakers around him. Running backs, Amara St. Brown. Excuse me for getting this name wrong. You know, they got a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball, and their running backs, some of the top tier running backs in the league, and they have one of the fastest receiver core in the league. So it's going to be a challenge for us, especially to get after their quarterback to affect them, to put us in a position to win this game.
Couple more.
Chris, is one of the lessons here for you is you're never too old to learn lessons?
That's the thing about life. Every day is a lesson. It's about what you take from it, man. You know, fortunately for me, I'm able to see it, and you guys are able to talk about it. But, you know, you can take a lot from it. What I just took from it, you just got to finish. It's not like I quit on anything. I thought he was down. So from now on, I'll make sure I finish.
Last one.
You said you deleted your social media before, and you mentioned you posted something. What was the impetus between getting rid of it at that point?
Yeah, because I take social media breaks. Like, I just came off of a 7-month binge of no social media. Like, I go through the periods where I don't need any social media. Sometimes it's not beneficial for me if it's not any brand deals that I have contracts with. So once I finished my contracts with my brand deals, I was like, I don't even want social media. It's all a facade. So I actually deactivated all my social media. I actually, a couple days before the game, I called my agents and I'm like, do I have any pending contracts with any brand deals before I deactivate my social media? And they was like, well, we're working on it, but you can deactivate it. I was like, cool, I'm going to deactivate it before we go play Jacksonville.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Greg.
Y'all take care.